Hey guys, I'm Dov, and today I'm back with more Total War Warhammer 2 online action. As you can see from Wurrzag, the Great Green Prophet, I have taken the green skins. We are back in green here, facing up against the High Elves. Definitely in for a very tough fight. Wurrzag is the leader here. He's got his War Paint save for an AoE physical resistance around him. He's also got map-wide miscast chance. The spells we're carrying are Here We Go and Foot of Gork, as well as the bound ability Effigy to Get, very, very strong. Pins an enemy in place, very good against single combatants. And yeah, Foot of Gork is going to be very, very strong versus cavalry, especially Dragon Princes, which you will definitely see a lot of in this matchup. Here We Go is basically just a castable waaaaagh, and for some reason Wurrzag lacks waaaaagh. I'm not really sure why they took it off for him, but that way we can at least get some melee attack timing bonus, in place of that. We've got his bodyguard here, the Broken Tusk Mob, as well as one Goblin Big Boss for some poison and, some additional heroic support. The main line of green skins is Savage Orc Biggins, Orc Boys, and Black Orcs, with another Orc Boy here in the center, and then the mirror on this flank. We've also got the Warlord's Boys, Armor Sundering Night Goblins. These guys have decent combat stats at 32 melee attack, 36 melee defense. They are immune to psychology, and of course they have minus 30 armor on their melee attacks, so very good stuff. We've also got the Hammer of Gork. Since the bolt throwers are pretty poor, you don't expect the High Elves to generally bring a lot of artillery in this matchup. Hammer of Gork is very, very good against armored targets. It also applies this Blinded, which affects melee attack and melee defense, which is very, very strong against, archers and high-tier units like, Swordmasters of Hoeth, and so on. We've also got Mangy Marauders and one unit of Goblin Wolf Rider Archers. Mangy Marauders are one of my favorite units in the game, and Wolf Rider Archers are probably one of the best toolkit units for the cost. And pound for pound, they're probably some of the best light cavalry in the game, being that they're only 350 points. They have a pretty decent range at 100. They don't do a ton of missile damage, but the ability to force mistakes, get in your opponent's backline, potentially charging skirmishers, doing damage to low armor targets. These guys can get a ton of value for their relatively low cost. So Mangy Marauders just amp that up to 11 with armor-piercing damage. Granted, they are 600, which is a bit more expensive, but they've got better combat stats, armor-piercing missile damage. They're also immune to psychology, which I've noticed a lot of the Greenskin Regiments of Renown are immune to psychology, which is great, because they generally have issues with terror. But we've also got two Nasty Skulkers out on this flank. I like these guys quite a bit in this matchup. Their Smoke Bomb is going to be very strong. They have good armor-piercing damage, relatively weak leadership and combat stats, but they're a nice toolkit unit. And in a rear charge or a support action, they can be very strong. You obviously don't want them fighting head up against, White Lions, say, but if they're to get a rear charge or pin down some cavalry, can potentially be very, very useful. For my opponent's build, his forces are led by Teclis, who's on foot. He's brought his full loadout of spells, which I'm not sure if this was on purpose or by mistake, but some of these spells can be useful here. Flaming Sword of Ruin does give magic damage and bonus weapon damage, so that'll be good against Savage Orcs. Net of Ammontok is always useful. Regrowth can potentially be useful as well, of course. Healing's always nice. Flock of Doom is, again, good against Savage Orcs. And, yeah, I'm not sure about Chain Lightning in this match, but it's interesting. He's also got the Potion of Troy and Bound Fiery Convocation, of course. Also got a Star Dragon, which is a very, very formidable threat. It's definitely scary for the Greenskins to try and deal with something like this. He's also got one unit of Dragon Princes, which you'll definitely see quite a few of these guys in this matchup. Only one in this build here, but typically expect to see, 2 to 4 Dragon Princes, and, bring the appropriate tools to deal with them. My opponent's got 4 archers with light armor, which is, again, a bit of an odd pick here, but probably can cut the light armor and save some coin to potentially invest in other units. He's also got 2 Swordmasters of Hoeth, which I definitely agree with here. They'll outclass Black Orcs and, just be able to carve through most Greenskin infantry. So very, very good stuff. At the same time, Greenskins are relatively weak to heavy cavalry. I mean, they do have some tools that can deal with them, but if you bring a pretty, heavy cavalry build, like with 3 to 4 heavy cavalry, it's pretty tough for the Greenskins to deal with. So I would almost say you can cut these Swordmasters of Hoeth and go with a cheaper front line, White Lions will outclass most greenskin infantry, pretty much everything except Black Orcs. So the Swordmasters of Hoth are probably a little bit of overkill here, but, you know, still very good units. So let's kick things into full gear. My first order of business is going to try to be to lead this dragon out on a wild goose chase. If I can lead it over to these skulkers and then drop a smoke bomb, or, you know, bring Wurrzag out with his goon squad, drop an FG to get and freeze him in place. All of the above would be very, very useful, and it's going to allow me to do a lot of damage to the Star Dragon. We have pulled up in range here of the archers, so going to be advancing my forces. Teclis is going to get a really nice Nets of Amantok here, but it only does pin down this one unit. I was able to get all the other units away before they got pinned down. So he's going to drop a Chain Lightning. This is a significant magic investment just to take out one unit of Black Orcs. Chain Lightning does a decent bit of damage here along with the bow fire. So, you know, pretty good value there, but I don't know if all of that magic was necessarily worth it. Fiery Convocation missed pretty hard, which was unfortunate, but the dragon didn't take the bait. He's coming back over to this side of the battle, so we're going to bring the Nasty Skulkers in to kind of occupy this pass here, as well as just keeping Wurrzag and his goon squad on station here to do some FG to get. Potentially we can, you know, throw down an Here We Go in this mainline fight, and, you know, just support these Goblin Wolf Rider archers as they deal some, you know, some nice range damage. You can see the Star Dragon Breath going down. My opponent really probably wants to be casting that on Wurrzag. I'd imagine it would only take 1 to 2, well, not 1, probably 2 of those Dragon Breaths, and you could probably kill Wurrzag. I haven't tested it, to be totally fair, so this is pure conjecture, but just from what I've seen against other, you know, other lords and so on, I think that would do a ton of damage to Wurrzag. It's more meant against single targets, I think, but, you know, it's all good. We have engaged in the mainline fight now, and boys up against Spearmen is interesting. I'll need to test this one-on-one. I think Spearmen would win out slightly here just because of their better melee defense, but it's a very cool cinematic fight. I love the animations for the Spearmen there. You can see the mangy, not the Mangy Marauders, the Broken Tusk Mob, and the Dragon Princes coming together here, and that Foot of Gork was not super cost effective just because these guys are pretty close in terms of cost. The Broken Tusk Mob are 1,300, Dragon Princes are 1,400, so that was not an exactly cost effective Foot of Gork. But I would be honest with you guys, ever since the release of Total War Warhammer 2, all I've wanted to do is just Foot of Gorks and Dragon Princes. So I cast that knowing full well that it was not the most effective thing to do, and I just wanted to watch these guys get smashed. So hope you guys enjoyed watching that as much as I did. Mission accomplished, and I can check that achievement off my list. So the Broken Tusk Mob going to be terrified off here. They'll come back from routing, but that big boss just got completely destroyed by the Star Dragon. Wurrzag's going to get a rear charge in here and then promptly realize that this is a really bad idea and run away. So we did get a nice Flock of Doom going off there, doing some really good damage to those Black Orcs and the Warlord's boys here. But meanwhile, just trying to draw this this dragon off sides. We do now have the Nasty Skulkers here. So he does, I guess we can see the breath there against Wurrzag. It didn't do quite as much as I thought it was going to, but it did quite a bit of damage, so definitely good on there. But coming down here next to these Nasty Skulkers is a really, really bad idea. You can see the smoke bomb going off there, and the dragon speed goes down to only 20. So these Nasty Skulkers are going to be able to get on him and just inundate him with their armor-piercing damage. We're also going to bring Wurrzag in for support with the Broken Tusk Mob, and this dragon is in a really, really bad place right now. It is not going to be able to escape from this fight. Meanwhile, in the main line, the Orc boys have been beat up and routed off a little bit, but coming back in the fight, Swordmasters of Hoth were able to get around the flank and collapse this one side of the battle, but this other one here is now going to get sandwiched in between 2 units of Black Orcs, as well as all these boys who are very, very angry. We're definitely going to get some decapitations from the Swordmasters, but these Black Orcs are holding out like true champions here. We've got Here We Go on this entire pocket here, so that what remains of the Dragon Princes and the Swordmasters just got crushed there. This other unit of Swordmasters is going to be a bit of an issue, but if we're able to get a full surround with all these boys here, should be able to take them down. Hammer of Gork has just been firing away relentlessly this entire time. It's racked up 81 kills so far and climbing. You can see the dragon really not being able to escape here. Regrowth being cast, very, very nice from Teclis to keep it in the fight, give it some physical resistance, but it's just not going to be able to get away here. Fiery Convocation trying desperately to bring this dragon loose. My opponent really, really needs this thing to come back and cause terror and to use its last charge of breath, potentially to take down Wurrzag, so yeah. But yeah, it's really, really bad time. He's running towards his lines here, and you know, if the archers don't move back, he could potentially screen here. This regrouped unit of Spearmen is also going to come attempt to screen, But Teclis is involved in this fight with Black Orcs, probably not exactly where he wants to be. He's getting beat up a little bit. The dragon now getting screened by its own lines here. Going to be able to get back up in the air, but because it's so low, Effigy to Get has come off cooldown. I'm going to pin it down in place with Effigy to Get, and that direct damage is going to be enough to finish off the dragon. So as these archers get charged down by the boys, you can see the dragon goes down, brought from the sky by the nasty magic of Wurrzag, the Green Prophet. So just continuing to fire away at whatever units I can. At this point, the pocket has collapsed pretty severely for the High Elves. This one unit of Swordmasters is getting whittled away. They have done quite a bit of damage here, managed to finish off one unit of Black Orcs. But we're going to get the Armor Sundering Night Goblins in here for a rear charge to help support what remains of their Black Orc friends here. And, you know, Sundering the Armor is only minus 30. It doesn't look like, yeah, it brings them down to 60. So that's actually pretty decent. This other group of High Elves here, this huge blob of archers, is trying desperately to get away from these biggins. But, you know, these guys got the double choppas. They're getting in here, getting all kinds of wild, going to be just going to town on this big old blob here. So Wurrzag has also gotten a hold of Teclis somewhat. Teclis is really not meant for this engagement. If he has the Sword of Teclis, he can potentially win out against Wurrzag, but it doesn't look like he's brought it here, so he needs to try and get away. He's going to turn tail and run back towards this group of archers here, which is really the only pocket of healthy troops my opponent has left. Balance of power is slightly in my favor. It's starting to tilt more and more as time goes on, and up until now it's been very close, but with the finishing of the dragon, things were pretty much over and done at that point. But going to be casting one last Here We Go on this unit of biggins just to help them mop up this big old blob of High Elf archers. And man, that Hammer of Gork, holy cow, absolute brutality. That thing's just been an MVP sitting up on that ridge, firing away, getting a ton of kills, 110 kills in total. And let's see if those last couple rocks make contact. Maybe one extra kill there. Nope, still 110, so Wurrzag now dueling Teclis here in the corpses of all his comrades, doing quite a bit of damage to him, and that is going to be enough to finish off the High Elves. So, very well played to my opponent. Hope you guys enjoyed watching that battle. In terms of army builds here, for my opponent, like I said, I would probably cut the light armor on the archers and cut the Swordmasters, bring White Lions in the front line, and bring 2 to 4 Dragon Princes. The dragon is very good here. Maybe 3 Dragon Princes and a Phoenix. The Phoenix can be really good here because the Flame Spire bombs do a lot of damage to low armor targets, which of course the Greenskins will probably bring quite a few of. The Terror's going to be good still, and it's not going to be as much of a risk investment as a Star Dragon. My opponent was able to get 71 kills and a Chevron with the Star Dragon, but I mean, for the cost, you really probably want these guys to do more. 225 kills on these Swordmasters and an XP Chevron is amazing. But again, White Lions will do okay here, and I really think that you need to invest your killing power elsewhere in the army. Just a little bit of give and take here, but let me know what you guys think. For my army build, Wurrzag getting 31 kills with that Foot of Gork and helping to finish off the dragon was clutch. That big boss just got completely destroyed by the dragon, so that was tough. But boys performing admirably in the front line. The Nasty Skulkers, MVPs, helping take down that Star Dragon. Orc Biggins, this unit, 2 XP Chevrons, 123 kills. That's the one that got into that big blob of archers. 106 kills and an XP Chevron on the Black Orc is excellent. Anytime you go over 100 kills against the High Elves is really good. 110 kills on the Hammer of Gork also. Very nice. While the Wolf-Red Archers didn't get kills, they were able to apply some nice pressure to the dragon and, you know, keep him away from the mainline engagement and kind of bait him into a disadvantageous engagement there with the Skulkers and with the Broken Tusk Mob and everything. So they definitely played their role. They didn't get a lot of kills, but, you know, they fulfilled the purpose that I brought them for. So, hope you guys enjoyed watching that battle. If you like this kind of content, like and subscribe. I'm keeping it coming with more Mortal Empires content every single day, so stay tuned for more, and we'll see you next time.